Here's the assortment of bolts that you get with your crossbow, and I'll explain this in a second. There's no arrowhead on that, but these are, you know, they're cheap, made in China, cheap, just plastic. Only 2 fins. These little ones have 3. Pretty sure they need it. And then you get like a fishing kind where it has this mechanical barb. Which that was not too mechanical. Get something like that, and it also has like this little wire on the end, and I'll explain that right now. The little wire on the end is for the string, these things right here, and what these things do is they sit on the front part of your bow, and when you shoot, this string, which is attached to the back end of this, will stab into a fish, and then you just pull the string back to you, and you got yourself a fish. So that's pretty cool, except you have to like figure this stuff out by yourself, because if you look at the back of the box, which is the only place that has the instructions, it just has these 6 instructions. Actually it's 4, because they just show, you know, there's a scope and then there's your bolts and string. These 2 are the ones followed after these, and these 2 are followed after that, which has nothing to do with the scope. Scope has nothing to do with the scope. It has to do with screwing in the bow part, this arch part. But it doesn't say that. This is like, it's translated for many different languages, so the wording is just horrible. You have no idea what the hell they're saying. And like, it doesn't even say to push down on the button to release. So I was trying to figure out how to pull this thing back the whole time. It took me a while to figure it out. So that said, I took apart the iron sights, because that's what you're supposed to do if you're going to put on the scope. However, I wasn't going to put on the scope because it is a BB gun scope, pretty much. I was going to put on my own leftover red dot scope, but this rail is too small for it, so I'm going to have to customize something. So after you have it all assembled and everything, I would suggest taking your, you know, the typical blue bolt here and going through and trying to see if you can twist the head off, because they're pretty loose. I don't know what kind of glue they use, but as you can see, I mean, these came off from me shooting it into the target, but the thing is, I'm pretty sure that they weren't, I was able to do this before, because there's one that I didn't shoot that it came off, so check them if you don't have enough time to super glue them or anything. This, it works. Everything works except the safety. Let me explain the safety for a second. I had to use a pair of pliers. I don't know if you can see that. A pair of pliers just to turn it off and on. And the mechanic, it's so smooth. There's no like clicking or anything that indicates that it's actually functioning as a safety, that I'm afraid that if I turn it on to safety, it might get stuck on there, even if I can turn it off. So it does actually work, but you can't use your finger on it. It gets halfway in and stuck, and you can still pull the trigger. Like, I'm using a lot of force there. I could do it with the pliers, but see, I can't even have a hard time putting it back. So yeah, so I'm keeping it off and trying to be extra careful with it. So it does work. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, but it is really hard and almost too dangerous to even bother, because if I have to use this to get the safety off, I'm going to be holding it different ways that I shouldn't be holding it, probably, and cut off my finger or something. So I guess I'll go to shooting it. Alright, here's me shooting this. Took me a while to figure out this button right here. So pretty much grab it like this, push the button down, pull it back like that. It takes like no strength at all. The 2 winged darts, you don't put them down in the slot that you see here like you do with normal crossbows. Just put it in sideways like that. Make sure it's in far back as possible. Do not stick your fingers like this, by the way. That was stupid, but so, and I don't have a scope or anything, so let's try this out. With no safety it actually can be pretty dangerous. And I'm shooting the target probably from, what is that, 4 or 5 feet, so it doesn't really count for the accuracy. In fact, I won't have an accuracy review on this because it's late. And now I'm going to shoot a couple of the red darts, the really small ones that are like, and these have 3 wings on it. And I'm going to push one of the wings inside of the slot, and there's something inside the slot that prevents me from pushing it all the way back unless I pick up by 2 of them and slide it back. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I don't know, but here we go. The accuracy on these things are obviously a little worse. So I'm not going to pick it up. Oh, I did on there. Sweet. Let's see if I can... No, see? This is my last shot, so... Let's see if I can get a bullseye with this one. Nope, well, I hit the one. I was in the yellow. So, that's the shooting review. I don't really know what other kind of review I'm doing, but here we go.